I was thinking about a couple of things that are kind of strange, so I thought, "Oh, I'm just going to share them because, might help somebody else." Um, One of the things, is this thing about my hair. And, we all have this swirl, and, we're all really in this motion, right? And if I were to look at my swirl, like everything's backwards, so I don't know how to, but if I was to go and look at the back of my hair, it looks like a, kind of like a cowlick or something. Like you can see that there's a movement in there, right? And so that movement is the movement that, I am in. And I had noticed this weird thing with my hair. On this one side, it was thinner, like there wasn't as much hair. I had one side of my hair that was super, super heavy, and the other side that was a lot lighter. But as this time has been going, I had just been noticing that this part was turning super, super gray, and it was growing slower or something. And all of a sudden I noticed, like, oh my gosh, this is like inches shorter on one side than the other. Like, that is so trippy. And when I would bend over, like to comb my hair and stuff, I kept seeing, like, one side of my hair is here and the other side was here. And I kept being like, that is so weird. Like, why is it doing that? And so I trimmed my hair, and I had trimmed it, and I was like, no, still. And I kept trimming it and trimming it and trimming it until, like I said, like I think I've got like 5 inches or 4 inches cut off of it now. But it does feel lighter. Like, hair is heavy, man. And so, um, and then I had thought, I wanted to part it on the other side because I was like, well, why would I just accentuate this? Why wouldn't I? It's not like masking it, but why draw attention to it? Why not try and find some balance in there, right? So, and I have done this so many times before through my life. Think, oh, I'm going to change the part on my hair. And then, you do it and it's like, it feels weird. Like all this heaviness is suddenly on this side. Like everything feels really out of balance. And so, I was like, I'm doing it. I'm sticking to it. I'm going to, change this part. Like it doesn't make any sense why this side I've got to find balance. I got to put it into both, get it more balanced. I'm not going to just go because it's doing this and just let it, like, oh, well, that's my natural thing. It's like, well, what if I can control it the way I want it to be? And that is, to me, about finding balance, because it is all this micro macro. So if you look at things in your life, it will represent something else. So representing about finding balance. And the weird thing is, even when I parted it, and I don't know what other people think, but we all see ourselves differently than other people. So it doesn't really fucking matter what anybody else thinks. But when I look now, I feel like it's more balanced, like my whole self. Like I feel like my face is more balanced or something, because that's one thing you notice is like you have two different sides of your face. And when you part it, it will show one side more, and you're used to seeing this other side. So when you change it, all of a sudden it's like you see this other side of your face. And, I had always noticed that. So when I would change the part, I would always think, oh, I look so different. It feels so weird, and go back to the other way. And this time, where it's like, no, I don't give a shit. I'm going to do this. And now I feel like it is bringing balance into everything. And, like with my curvature and my spine and stuff. And, thinking about that kind of thing. And figuring out, like, okay, so if my spine is curved, there's not balance somewhere in my life. So I need to look towards balance, finding balance in things. And so as I go and I continue to find balance for myself, I feel like it's like straightening me. It's like it's like both sides. There's not something out of balance, like what I've said, like the dark wolf and the light wolf, or the masculine and the feminine. It's all about finding balance in yourself. And that's why it makes no sense, where they tell these kids, like, well, I'm a man trapped in a girl's body, or I'm a girl trapped in a man's body, or whatever. I might say the same thing, but whatever, you know what I'm talking about. And that instead of saying, well, how do you find balance in that? Where do you figure out how to line yourself up in that? You know, instead of just like, well, that means you need to change bodies, you know. It's like they've got this solution. Just like right before I turn this on, fucking drug commercial comes on. And they're like the Folgers commercials used to be like this, oh, a homecoming, you know, oh, Folgers, you know, when the son comes in years, you know, unexpected, and they haven't seen him, and you know, it's years later, and he comes walking in, and oh, they've got a pot of Folgers right there. It's, oh, what a beautiful day. Perfect timing. And that's like what the drug commercials now are trying to do. This one was like, oh, you know, dad wasn't doing what he wanted to do for so long in his life, but finally when I went off to college, you know, they got to get the, you know, the indoctrination programming in there. Whoa, couldn't do it without it. And then once I went off to college, now he's found balance in his life. He's doing well. He's back to his old self. It only took finding True Villa. Once he started on True Villa, I was like, fuck off with your shit. All it takes, you don't need a fucking pill to find balance in your life. You just need to focus on you. And, you know, this nonsense, I can't believe how hard they're hitting with these commercials. It's nonstop all day long. Oh, I've lived my life in depression. I've never been able to get out of bed. I'm so sad. But then I got True Villa. I was like, fuck off. You know, it is us that needs to make the change. I mean, yeah, you take a pill for a minute, you're going to feel better, but it's going to cause other problems. And it's a Band-Aid. It's not fixing a fucking thing. You have to still fix whatever it is that is bothering you. Just like, you know, if you think like switching to a new body is going to fix your problems. No, the problems are going to follow you. You're still going to feel like uncomfortable, out of like, I don't feel right, you know, something is still feels off. And that's what leads these freaking poor kids into suicide, you know. I mean, nothing feels right. They feel out of place. And, you know, that's where we have to start getting people to understand. Of course, you're going to feel out of place. You're a soul coming into an avatar to come in for an experience. And your experience is normally going to be very dramatic. You're here to learn. You're not here to just play around. You're here to evolve. And so it's so crazy because, you know, it's all about misleading us because it's us who has to do the work. No matter if you're going to take True Villa or whatever, you know, they've got all of these stupid fucking pills and you're going to take them, you know, you got to go at it as this is a temporary solution. I need to focus on myself and figure out what it is that is bothering me. And, you know, I mean, when you get to things where you feel like you're in the wrong body and stuff, I mean, that's big issues. Like I felt like that when I was growing up. I've talked about it before. You know, I was this tall, skinny, lanky, no boobs. You know, it didn't seem to have a feminine thing about me. And I definitely didn't seem girly to me. You know, I saw these other girls that they seemed to present feminine. And I couldn't understand. Like, I seriously thought I was like a hermaphrodite and they picked the wrong part. Like, I couldn't understand it. So I understand, you know, I'm not judging anybody on the confusion. I get it. And what's even crazier is you can feel like that and you could ask somebody and they'd be like, no, you're so girly. What are you talking about, weirdo? You know, that's the kind of thing you'll get. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, weirdo, but yeah, you never seem like a boy to me. So there's so much of it is just, it's in here. You know, it's us having to come to terms with us. It's us coming in to heal us. And, you know, people come into our lives to show us what we need to heal. You know, the people who trigger us, you know, the people who we think are our enemies a lot of times, they come in to help us get to that place. And, you know, this is another thing too, is, you know, like a long time ago, I think I've mentioned this before, but a long time ago, I think I was around 31, 32 years old. And you know, when I was in Hollywood, you know, it was a kind of a lot more wilder. It was like the heroin days of Hollywood, you know, the Motley Crue time, you know, where it was just, you know, lots of party and everybody was out all night. You know, you ended up at Cantor's in the middle of the night, you know, everybody go there, it would be jam packed. And, it'd be a long wait to even get a table. And so, those nights, that time was like, it was intense, a lot of stuff always happening, but there was so much drama all the time. And there became a point where I was like, I got to get away from this. This is some bullshit. I was willing to drop my whole career as a tattoo artist, everything, and just be like, I gotta change my life. This is not working. And, I ended up in Washington State, married. And I thought, that this was my new destiny. Everything was going to go better now. My life was just going to, it was just going to fix itself. Everything was going to go fine now. I found the person I was supposed to be with. I was going to have kids now. I was pregnant. And, I got it all together, right? And it was hell. It was absolute hell. Me and this person were not in alignment, and it was a battleground nonstop. And it was, horrible. And you can't reason with somebody who is also in pain, because you are hurting them, they are hurting you. So there is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. You're hurting each other because you're there to learn from each other. And the lesson is always to learn to love yourself. And so I remember I was sitting, I think I was on one of my kids' beds, and I was sitting there just bawling my head off. And it was like that desert moment, where the prophet, like Job or whatever, is out in the desert, and or Moses or whatever, and they're throwing their hands up. God, why have you forsaken me? Where are you? I was having one of those moments, like, I'm so alone. I'm trying to do the right thing. What is wrong? Why does this keep happening? Why aren't things going right for me? And the thing is like, if your guide stepped in right then, like, you want your guides to step in, you want the hand of God to come sweep you out of your pain and present you up on the top of the hill where, gold and diamonds sparkle and abundance is everywhere. You want this quick fix. And, mine took decades. Like, I was in that place for decades. That painful, like, what is it? Like, I don't understand. Why do I just keep having one bad thing after another after another? And if they would have swept in, that moment when I'm having my, I come to Jesus, oh, please save me, Jesus. If they would have come in, I would have never learned to save myself. I would have never learned how to love myself. And the whole thing is, you're here to learn those things. They can't come in and interfere with your lessons. And don't think like your guides are like, haha, you stupid ass. You got yourself into it, fuck off. That's your ego. That's your three-dimensional brain working. That isn't what it is. You just imagine, for people who have a kid, they can imagine it. For people who don't, it would be harder to understand the concept. But you have your little 2-year-old, wants something, and you say, no, you can't have that. And they throw themselves on the ground. They're whining and crying like, oh, how could you do this to me? Mama, please, can I have it? And you're just like, no, you can't have it. And you're looking at them. You're not looking at them like you dumbass. You're looking at them like, it's kind of a little bit humorous. Like, oh, they're having a fit. They really want it so bad. And, you look at them with love and kindness, and like, they'll figure it out. They have to learn this lesson. That's what your guides do. They're not forsaking you. They haven't abandoned you. They have to sit back and watch you struggle so that you can learn what you came here to learn. And, mine took a long time, a couple decades of, line up. Whoever wants to be a dick, just line up. I'm here. I'm here to learn these lessons, and that's what it was like, Like I said, I was like a relationship junkie. Oh, this one will be the one. This one will save me. And no, it was always I had to save myself, and it had to keep getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, girlfriends, boyfriends, whoever. I was getting fucked over by, so many different people. And I was allowing these people into my life because I didn't feel good about myself, I wasn't choosy. That's why I talk about, you got to set your standards up higher. You have to set the standards for what you want in your life. You have to learn that this is all about you, the self-discovery and prioritizing self. You have to learn to love yourself. And, the lessons will keep coming and keep coming. And so that you don't forget when you're here to learn, And if you try and go off in a different direction or distract yourself, you're only putting off the inevitable. It's always going to come. The lessons that you came here to learn are always going to come because, it's destiny. And however you're going to do it was how you were always going to do it. So if you're putting them off, you're drinking, I'm not dealing with that, I'm just going to party or whatever, it's still going to come around. It's not going to be like you can distract yourself forever. I mean, I've seen a lot of people try. My dad spent his whole life being drunk and not dealing with things. And then, when he died and he was, in that purgatory stuck place, because you have to work through your shit. The whole life review, that's what it's all about. And even with the painful things you take from life to life, you come back in because you want to fix them, you want to heal them. So it is, it's a part of the motivation of reincarnation, because there's certain things when you leave your life, you can't fix it anymore, right? So let's just take my dad, for instance. And while he was here, he hurt a bunch of people. He was a pedophile. He was a alcoholic. He was very selfish, very self-centered, and he hurt a lot of people. So, when you're coming from your own pain, who knows what your pain is, but you're not present in life. You're living by that sacral, painful place. You're just reactive. So you're not really mindful, thoughtful, thinking things through, looking at how things are presented to you and trying to understand what is I'm supposed to be learning here. It's just reactive. So, when he, ended up going and passing on and moving to the other side, and he went into that place in that purgatory or whatever, because you have to go in and you have to heal the things that you are holding on to. So when you get to that place, so he goes in there, which when I had talked to that medium, my grandpa was going and trying to help him. So you have people who love you, guides, and, people who represent different things in your soul's journey, not in this life. Because this life, we put on different masks to play different parts for each other, but on a soul level. So my grandpa was going in and trying to help him. So say my dad gets to a point then where he's like, okay, yeah, I get it now. I see it. I'm, and he can find a place of peace, because you can't take your pain and suffering into what you consider heaven or the heavens or the space that you are at when you're in your higher dimensional being body. You're in a different place. You can't take that pain into there. It's a place of tranquility. And so the then when he can wrap his head around it, and he goes in and he looks, oh, I hurt that person. Oh, I did that to that person. So then when that person passes, you're like, oh, this, what I did to you, we need to put that back into balance. You make plans to go in and rebalance things with people. So you have this drive and motivation all the time to solve the things. And who knows, I mean, maybe when you go in, because you have to play all sides, right? You have to be all facets of the diamond to create a diamond. You have to see all of the different aspects. So you have to go into a life and you have to, or go into a life cycle, and you have to play all the different parts. So that could be, you already know what you're going to do. So you already know all the different parts. I think that it is a huge motivator, is in your life review, is what leads you into wanting to fix things with people, because you feel the pain of what you cause. You have in a life review, you experience your life from everyone else's perspective. So every situation, you don't look at it like how you felt, you look at it how you made someone else feel. So that's a huge motivator to go in and clean stuff up. So, and that's what a soul is all about. And, I mean, it makes so much sense why there's life after life after life after life, because you're constantly moving towards that place of peace, of getting to where you know you did all you could do. You know you've learned all you can learn. You don't hold judgments against others who are there learning. It's all the drive is to get to that place, what people think of as like heaven, in the place of a sense of feeling like it all has meaning, it all has purpose, and you've completed it, you've done what you're supposed to do. That's why like they sell this life experience as like the test. This is the test if you're going to go to heaven or hell. No, this is hell. Where we're at, this is hell. Then to move out of this into a higher dimension, that is you doing the work to move yourself up. And you can go as high as you can go. It depends on you and the things that you want to understand and learn about yourself. And it is, all of moving up is this release, forgiveness, releasing pain and suffering. That's what holds us down. That's what holds us back. That's the chains that bind us to this existence, this reality. And another thing too, I just want to say real quick about the guides, because I was talking to somebody about guides, and everybody has a different perception about guides. So to me, guides are your friends. If you are up in wherever it is that you hang out when you're not incarnated, and whatever vibration or realm or wherever, your people, your soul tribe, your soul group that you hang out with, that when when different ones of you come to go and incarnate, then the other ones are there cheering you on. So they're hanging out with you, they're cheering you on. Like I said, mine will drop something down in front of me. So I'll be like, oh, I see that, and pick it up, and like I'll know that they're giving it to me because I'm going to need it in a second. So I'm constantly thanking them, having gratitude. And, I know mine are like right now, they're right here with me. Like you can't see them, but they're hanging out all over the place, sitting with their feet propped up, drinking a beer, just, enjoying life, especially when you're in tune and in sync with them. And they just start giving you message after message, with numbers and signs and synchronicities, so that you always know that they're there. And when they're there, you're always giving them gratitude and appreciation, because you know that even if you can't see them, you have a group of people who are with you. Like everything that you accomplish, it's not just your accomplishment. You have a whole team, so when you see those people who win the awards and they go out and they thank Jesus or God or whatever, really, it's thanking the heavens, or thanking, everyone, all the beings around who were there to guide me and help me through this, to get me to this place that I'm at right now. And, and remember too, not everybody's journey is to come in and win an award, or, whatever your ideal is of success. A lot of times it's to really start understanding what success is about, because I'm sure you have success in your life. It's just that what you're looking at is someone else's success, thinking that they have something you don't. So, there's so much stuff to learn, and it is an exciting journey to learn it and to have things become clearer and clearer to you. So, if you are going through struggles and stuff, and you do feel abandoned, and you are in that like, oh Lord, why do you forsaken me like this, and you're in that kind of space, just remember you have a whole team that is sitting there feeling your pain. They can't come in, they can't change it. They just have to sit there and wait for you to get what it is they're trying to put down, like to understand what it is they're trying to show you. And I think I was a little slow. I don't know how long it's supposed to take, but all the things that I learned, I'm going to put them to use and share them so that other people, can help them on their journey. Because, we don't have people sitting there helping us and talking us through things. We're being misguided, misdirected all the time because they really want to just put us on a path to a pill. That's all they care about, They just want us all to be in pain and suffering and focused on consumption. So they want us to just be consumers, and spend, spend, spend. Oh, and, yesterday when I drove to town, it was crazy. I could not believe the sky. It was absolute insanity. And when I looked over, there was a part where I could see out to the mountains really, really well. When you're looking out over to those, I think you're looking at Vancouver, that direction. But like you're seeing into Canada, these big mountain ranges, because there's not those mountain ranges until you get there. So you're looking at those. But the weird thing is it looked like a backdrop again. It didn't look real. And the way the lighting was hit, the way that now it's not where they have, I said, like it's an inverted sky, like where it should be dark, it's light, and where it should be light, it's dark. It's like it doesn't make any sense. So down at the horizon line where it's just white. So you have these big giant mountains and they have snow all over them. And then you have this white backdrop thing, like the sky's completely white. And then it has like a definite stripe, then a dark gray, then a definite stripe, and then a light color again, and then a definite stripe, and then a lighter gray. Like I'm telling you, it's like Neapolitan ice cream. It's bizarre. And then that big old freaking disc thing up there, like that is not the damn sun. But anyways, I was posting pictures yesterday of the drive, and you can't get how grandiose it really is until you see it, witness it in person. Like all the videos that I do cannot give it justice of what it is to see it in person. Like it's fucking blows your mind. And especially like that backdrop thing. I was like, this is fucking insane. Like we really are in a play. That's the backdrop because this is nuts. And but somebody else, messaged me this morning and they said that they are having the same thing in their country. Like the weather and stuff is all out of whack. It's not making sense. The sky's looking weird and everything is off. And it's like, yeah, and this person knows about weather control manipulation. And it's like, yeah, that's what they are doing is manipulating the weather so they can sell climate change, just like they had to take down the buildings, blow them up, and, show us on this CGI plane thing. But that is what, they do things in a dramatic way because, it's all to keep us distracted and feeling defeated and fearful of life. So, they create what they are marketing as climate change so that they can just take more money from us and keep us in fear of the world. And they're the ones that are saving us, which is all just a bunch of nonsense and bullshit. So, there was another thing when I was talking about that came into my mind that I wanted to say. What was it? The weather. Oh no, you can hear the planes. They're coming again. I mean, they come all the time, all the daytime, or even at night. This morning they have been starting while it's been dark, and now this daylight savings time thing, which doesn't seem like it's. I don't know. Everything seems weird to me. But, and then so now it's not light at the same times again. I don't know. And was it something about that sun that I was going to say? That fake ass sun and the fake ass sky. I can't remember. I'll probably come back and talk about something else anyways, and maybe then I'll remember. But anyways, your guides are there to help you, but they're not there to do the work for you. They're just there to, kind of assist you in seeing what you're not seeing. So when you start paying attention to the signs and synchronicities and, the micro, macro representations in your life, and don't forget, like when you're not doing things, it will start manifesting an illness in your body. You will physically get sick if you are not paying attention to what you need to heal. And it probably has a lot to do with why there is so many people sick right now, because they have been focused on distractions instead of focusing on what they need to heal. They're focused on everything that there is to distract them, but their soul, their body is calling out to them, no, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. I'm what's important here, not what's going on over in Timbuktu. You're not there. You don't know. Everything is an illusion. Everything is manufactured and it's all bullshit. So you gotta stay focused on you. But don't feel abandoned and stuff by your guides. They're not ever abandoning you or leaving you. You know, your higher self wants the best for you. Your higher self, just like what I was talking about the other day, you know, when you are going in and doing that inner child work, you are the higher self to that aspect of self. And we have one that is ahead of us in this journey, that is trying to assist us so that we can get there. And well, we will always get there, but to get there, you know, in like a less painful kind of way, because it is our emotions and our perspective is what gives us so much pain. But when we understand, like, all this stuff is happening, and it's going to happen the way it's going to happen, I'm just along for the ride, and my guides are trying to remind me of that. They're trying to give me little helpful tools. You know, it's realigning your perspective and finding everything in a balance in your life. Everything has to do with balance. Like, you need to have the dark wolf along with the white wolf, but you have to find that balance in between the two. And the same with your masculine and feminine. And nobody's lines up the same. We're all unique. We're not here to be the same. We're here to learn about ourselves and to understand ourselves as a conscious being, separate from the collective, because we are all a part of the same thing. We are all a part of the same teapot, you know, the same loaf of bread. You know, we are all come from the same thing. And this is our time to experience who we are as individuals. And so you have to see some of your dark stuff so that you can decide, is that you? What is you? How are you presenting? Is it in alignment with what you feel about yourself? Those are all the things that you're getting an opportunity to look at right now, so that you can take the best of what you believe is the best of you and move forward into this age of Aquarius. So anyways, it all has meaning and it all has purpose, and it all has to do with how we look at things. So anyways, have a great day, and I hope that helps somebody. Talk to you later. Bye.